even harder.
Yeah. Yeah, Riley, if you want to pull up the grand finals maps, we'll talk about the grand finals. Again, guys, this isn't really going to be a super long show. We're just touching on really the major things for anybody that might have missed throughout the day.
Well, can I start with map 1 and say that our junkyards, like our money hills, aren't money hills like they should be? Like we should be getting
I agree. Our holds,
better holds.
Our holds on this map were the main reason why we lost. Our P3s and P5s. I mean, they got to be cleaner. They got to be cleaner.
Also, we need to have safer setups. And, like, I'm all for taking risks. But, for example, we actually have the winning P3 rotation on this map. We have a full setup, and we just get broke from the front.
And honestly, it's like it was a fucking absolute tweak fest at the end of the P2 for FaZe. FaZe was literally handing us the game at the end of that P2. The end of the map, the P2, when they were both bus running around like headless chickens, it was Simp and Abe. They were frantic.
Yeah.
Like the pressure was on. They were frantic. They end up beating us on that map because they break into a P3. That's our opportunity to set the tone right there, and we just don't capitalize on it. One good P3 hold, we're up 1-0 in the series, and that can change a lot. But I just want to talk about the slaying discrepancy here. I mean, we got heavily outslayed, and you don't see that with our team often. We have great slayers.
That's what's interesting about our hardpoints versus FaZe. I felt like we were getting outslayed in all of them, and they were still close. So I feel like that's more of a highlight of our team is like, with such a slay-heavy team and, like, you have players like Pred, Dashy, it's like you expect us to never struggle in the kill comm. It's still a good thing to see, like, looking at it glass half full, that we're still playing series very competitively, even though we're not slaying. Like, this, looking at the scoreboard, should have been quite a bit of a blowout. Like, at least a 60-point win, and they win by 25.
This is the map where Simp goes on a 13 streak to start the map, and it was like 100-5, right? Like, we are getting fucking blown out of the water. It looks like the grand finals is about to be super grim. They're shooting, right? Yep. And we always talk about maybe there's that loser's bracket advantage. You're coming from losers. You're playing a series closer to the grand final. The team that goes through winners is sitting on their hands. Wasn't the case here. Simp goes on a 13 streak, going absolutely ballistic. We come back and we almost win this map. And if anything, if we could start a little bit hotter in these HPs, man, I have so much faith. If we could start hotter in the HPs and lock down our holds whenever we have the advantage and not push out on those positions and get blooded and allow them to pinch, it's a lot easier said than done, but our holds on this map were really what costed us. Yep. We ended up losing, 250 to, 225?
224.
Something like that? Yeah, 250 to 224. Just got to lock down the holds a little bit better, specifically on the P3 and the P5. I also want to point out, on the P2s, I don't think we won a P2 rotation against FaZe all day.
Oh, no, we didn't.
We didn't. They had P2 Barber Hill every single time, and they were getting good holds on it. It almost lost us the game, but again, they kind of trolled and gave us an opportunity on the P3. But that's all I got for map number 1, Zin, unless you got something else.
No, map 2 is as close as it gets again. It's a 6-5 win for us. It's sort of a repeat of the first series in the winner's final. Pleasant surprise to see the boys taking out FaZe on Terminal Search. We all said we were a little bit worried about it. I kind of like our form. I feel like we adapted pretty well. Some of those rounds got sketchy, like, oh man, like when we hit out B with no smoke and we make it work. Ant was finding timings. Draws makes that crazy play running like underplane, or was that in the winners final? This one I forget because we saw it literally back to back essentially. Draws makes a crazy play, runs from bottom terminal to underground red. Both teams I think are great on this map. We saw a 3-piece grenade from Ken.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like this was the week for 3-piece grenades.
I mean, the amount of new shit that we saw, talk about the 3-piece grenades.
Starting to bring it out.
The 3-piece grenade from Sat.
To bring it out.
The wall bangs from Hydra on the control, or on the invasions, on the invasion searches. The wall bang from Hydra whenever Kleenex is trying to climb up the ladder and he shoots him through all of bottom red. Like, we're starting to see some shit come out. You're seeing teams double nade from bottom metal steps into library. We get a 3-piece from it. Yep. Yeah, I'm very happy with this. Talk about really improving a map. We were 2-6 on this map coming into today, and we're playing it at the end of a tournament. And again, that just speaks volumes to our veto process. And I feel like I love the way we were picking our maps and what maps we were playing this tournament. Because typically you look at a team, right, 2-6. You're like, there's no way they play a terminal search. I was even a little bit apprehensive of us playing terminal search when I saw it coming up in the series, just because we haven't looked great on it. Besides the end of the second split, when we play New York, we play Toronto, start playing these better teams on it. But it just shows that we're confident and we're making decisions with confidence. And we end up winning round 11 both times against FaZe.
And then we have invasion control.
That's all I gotta say.
Unfortunately, they had our number in invasion control. We had some attempts. I mean, like I know everyone's talking about Shotzi's team kill on the 8-point at the end. Kind of an unfortunate one because you're both preem in front and waiting for him to chow. He chows. Shotzi accidentally team kills.
Map 3, Riley.
So, yeah, I mean, map 3 was close.
Yeah,
Ken drops a
what were you saying?
1.5. No, you're good. Ken drops 1.5 once again. I mean, just talking individually, like, look at the slang. 3 players positive for FaZe. Granted, I mean, 0.8, like, look at a 0.88, for example. I was like, oh, he dropped a 0.88. But, dude, he went -3. He went 22 and 25.
Who, AG?
Yeah.
Who gives a fuck about that?
No, that's what I'm saying.
We
It's
had an
like-
opportunity to
it's
win
like the
that
slang,
game.
It's like the slang looks insane, but we were right there. Unfortunately, they had our number on invasion control.
At the very end of the game, we literally had a chance to win the game. It comes down to one set of kills. Whenever we triple stack the point,
Yep.
Who cares about stats? Like, on a map like Invasion, you could get cut 6 times. If you break out 1 time and get a clean 4 dead, all of those 6 kills, as long as you're not feeding streaks, really don't matter. We end up getting 2 streaks on the map. They have 1. I feel like cruises was probably one of the biggest things just from watching the overall tournament that teams need to kind of work on. I feel like we saw a lot of rogue cruises. And
Well, Ant's cruise was kind of bad, too, just to put it blunt. Like,
that's kind of what
I'm not sure if Ant, like, I don't know the timing of it. It looked like our guys were already dead when he called it, and we had no map control. On a map like Invasion, I said it on the watch party, it's like you're really only using the cruise for info, unless you're using it on defense and you haven't trapped and you're trying to delay time.
Yeah.
On offense, the only thing you're really doing is playing for information. I mean, you're going to call it in, they're going to run into Mannequin, they're going to run into Cafe, they're going to be stacked in point. And we kind of called it in and didn't really gain anything from it. So going forward, I would like to see our cruises a bit more coordinated because I do think that one was a poor one.
I just feel like the timing of the cruises were bad. And I'm not saying from us, chat. I'm saying from every team we watched this weekend. There were so many cruises that we were like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Or we'd be like, why are they cruising now? They should, like, and again, it's very difficult in the moment. It's hard to speak on because whenever you're pushed out, like if you're the most pushed out, you're not going to cruise because you have to hold the cut. But I feel like people are going to go back and look at some of their cruise plays throughout the weekend. I feel like on this map, we're gonna take a look at our cruises and see if that was a correct time to use them, honestly. But it comes down to the wire, 3-2, comes down to a last-second cap. We're 3 stacked on the point. They end up clearing us out. Another nail-biter. Again, man, it's just all these maps were so freaking close. We lose the invasion. Next up, map number 4.
Skid hardpoint. I sound like a broken record. We should have rotated on the Barber Hill. It was a tie game. Neither team could win. We essentially sort of gifted FaZe the win, I think. I mean, as soon as Ken's also dies off that 4th spree, we were kind of reliant on him.
To a team nade.
Yeah, I mean, we were kind of reliant on him getting a streak because, I mean, I knew it right then and there. I knew we were not breaking P5. It's so hard to break hills on Skidrow. I think our P2s needed to be cleaner. And, yeah, we needed to rotate earlier. I mean, FaZe simply capitalized on our mistake, I feel like. If our player who spawned up mid, I feel like it was just probably so hectic, and FaZe was fighting heavily through tunnel. We were like, flood hill, flood hill, flood hill. Right there, you fight 3v4, and if you go down 230 to 200, you still win off P5. So,
dude,
I don't want to keep repeating myself. We got to rotate better.
The team nades, man. The last 2 years, I swear, we've been team nading the shit.
About it.
Team nading the shit out of each other. It was Ghosty last year. This year, Ken's on a cruise, on a 4 streak to get the cruise. It's really our only chance back in the game after we decide to not rotate from the Barber Hill over those P5 crates, and we get team naded. Again, you can't see. We don't have a crystal ball. We can't see the future. But if he doesn't get team naded there, maybe gets a free kill on someone hitting old, bait somebody tunnel, that could be the break that we need to win the map. It's really hindsight. It really is, but shit like that, it's one of those little things in Call of Duty that can just come back to bite you.
I don't even want to talk about map 5.
Well, I want to point out one more thing about our map number 4 on Skidrow because we did it multiple times throughout the weekend. Our P2 breaks are probably the best in the league. We did it so consistently, and without our P2 breaks, we might be losing this map by a significant margin.
Yeah.
I feel like we're relying a lot on that P2 break, and if we can start rotating a little earlier, getting to that hill first, and not relying on the breaks could help us out quite a bit.
Yeah.
Because we saw a lot of P2 breaks that had to come through, and we just can't rely on that.
Yeah.
But a good Skidrow, another insanely close map. FaZe has a great hold towards the end of it. They hold a clean 50 seconds. Draza is playing his life back crates well. They do their thing, man.
Map 5, we give up way too many first bloods, and luckily we were able to win some 3v4s. The boys go clutch, but especially versus a team like FaZe, any of the top 4 teams, you can't die in the first 10, 15 seconds. They're going to capitalize more often than not.
Yeah.
Like, you can't rely on these 3v4s or these 1v2s or these 2v3s. Like, you need to have all the guys together. And I feel like we were kind of just getting picked too easily on Rio, and that's what stood out for me the most. I mean, 2.0 for Abizi, he goes 10-5. Shotzi, he goes 9-9. To speak on Shotzi individually, once again, I've said this a lot. Damned if you do, damned if you don't. When he's getting the first bloods in the 2 pieces, he's praised as a hero. When he's dying, it's what the fuck, Ant, slow down, stop getting blooded. His play style is one of those things where he's forced to take risks, and it's very easy to point the finger, but his play style is very influential. And when it is going well, it's the reason why so many people love watching him. So
yeah,
not much to say there.
I agree with you. I think I would have liked to see a little bit more tandem out of the subs on this map. Felt like we were pretty separated throughout it, getting first blooded. Yeah, I want to know the stat for how many times we got first blooded on this Rio, because
I think
it felt like every single round we got first blooded.
Someone said 9 first bloods to our 1.
Yeah,
we got 1 first blood. We got first blooded 9. We fought.
Oh, it's right there. Beautiful.
We fought 9 rounds, 3v4,
and we kept it close. It goes 6-4. I mean, we were winning 3v4s a lot. It's just we just can't get blooded that much against FaZe in a grand final down 3-1.
What if we got bloods just 2 more times than that? Like, it's so important. It's so influential versus teams like FaZe. They do not make mistakes. I feel like that's the reason why they've been so consistent, is because everyone knows they're talented. I mean, a bear shits in the woods, but they don't make mistakes. They don't give you any freebies. It's so rare.
Yeah. Again, I think it was a lot to build on from this event. It's not the result that we want. Obviously, if you're not first, you're last. Word to Ricky Bobby. I know a lot of people live by that in the Call of Duty community, but again, got to show props to the team. I feel like they worked on their map pool a lot throughout this major. I feel like they added some new maps into it that they can keep on building on. I'm excited to see what they bring for Major 3. They have a flawless split online.
That was a great final. I mean, I know 4-1 looks like, wow, FaZe